All right, here at the residence of the Nigerian High Commission to Ghana, and the destruction that you see behind me, it's the staff quarters that has been
That's a glimpse of what we have for you this afternoon. You'll be hearing from some Nigerian residents in Ghana protesting the shutdown of their shops since December last year. Their resolve has been spurred by the demolition of a staff quarters at the Nigerian High Commission here in Accra. The situation is heightening tensions between the two countries, with several Nigerian organizations issuing strongly worded statements demanding sanctions against Ghana. But this afternoon, JoyNews has returned to that facility to observe the start of official inquiries into the matter. The Foreign Affairs Minister Shelia Yukoboche, the IGP James Opon-Bueno, and the National Security Minister Albert Kandapa have all visited the scene of the destruction this afternoon. JoyNews editor Fred Smith reports.
All right, here at the residence of the Nigerian High Commission to Ghana, and the destruction that you see behind me, it's the staff quarters that had been put up by the High Commission to help with the accommodation of staff and also the diplomats who visit the High Commission. And Friday night, these armed men stormed here with bulldozers and decided to demolish it. And today, we've had the Foreign Affairs Minister, Shelia Yukoboche, visiting here.
We continue to work together. I mean, even with friends or siblings, there's bound to be issues. But it is how the issues are resolved that will determine the friendship going forward. And I think that we will do all we can to resolve this matter. It can never be plain sailing. For where relationships are concerned. These things will happen that will shake relationships, but I believe that if we stick together and we resolve it, it will be okay.
Who's going to bear the cost of damage?
This is the Foreign Ministry you're talking to. The appropriate agencies will deal with this matter. We have come to have a look at it, to have first-hand information, so that when we are doing our part, we'll be able to do it with a lot of information from a point of view of first-hand information. The other agencies, police is seized with the matter, National Security is also seized with the matter, the Lands Commission, under the Lands Ministry, will also deal with it. We'll all be involved in this matter. I wasn't here. I do not know the identity of the people. My job is to ensure that they are protected under the Vienna Convention as a foreign ministry.
But the head of the Osu traditional area has released a statement. Is that indicating that they know something about it?
All this will be investigated by the Ghana police. It doesn't fall within my purview to make those assertions, but I believe that no stone will be unturned. Everything will be done to ensure that we bring the perpetrators to book.
The IGP has also followed, the National Security Minister has also followed.
No consent. We have no litigation against us. We were just taken unaware. Somebody that come to your premises around 1 a.m.
You've never been invited?
No, never. Not to my knowledge. I can tell you that.
You have not lodged any complaint, any part of the police?
Not even through the normal channels.
You mean we lodged a complaint?
Not
yeah.
Yes, after it happened on Monday.
No, before then.
No.
Was there anything?
There was no
claim to the...
No.
We don't pick on the diplomatic premises. We consider this a serious violation.
And our government condemns it strongly.
And you have papers that
we have our documents. Yes.
Documents.
Yes, complete.
Okay, we wish to brief them on the acquisition of the land and then how...
I think that will be done.
No, I think we're talking to them today at 2 o'clock.
Okay. Commissioner, I even sent you a letter when the place is... I don't know whether you saw it.
When was it?
That must have been
on the Wednesday.
But then it hasn't gotten through me. You sent it through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, right?
No, I sent it directly to you.
So I haven't seen it.
Then we are requesting for Because the people we went to
requested for Monday.
did not show up. They didn't show up.
But you have my number. You call me often. So why didn't you call me on
I felt that, well, hence we have reported
when
to
you really mattered, rather you decide to write. You should have called me on phone. That's the night. The letter didn't get to me.
I actually called the diplomatic police, and they requesting that please, this is what happened, and there is need for deployment of the police here. So what he told me was that we should write through the IG. That is what he said, and which we did. And even on the Friday that this thing happened, in the morning, I was at the fraud unit. I went there to see the man in charge, and we discussed. And I told him that there is need for something to be done, and also, if there is any pin, they should write. They know the channel of communication. They should write. And he promised. I left my card. A commission that you can even send out an advance copy. We will respond to it. But nothing came until late evening, and then the destruction. The person who came the first time returned and then caused this damage.
Now they've been taken round shortly. But I want to show you around this particular facility. Now, the building you see here is exactly where the High Commissioner resides. So the High exactly. So this is an extension of that compound, and that is where the building has been put up. It shares a wall with a house that a land that belongs to a facility belonging to the Canadian High Commission in Ghana, and then the next one belongs to the the U.S. Embassy in Ghana, and then there's a private facility that also shares the wall. Now, behind that, that's where we have the building that has been demolished. So I can show around what has actually happened. Construction completely destroyed, and you can see some of the PVC pipes and blocks almost complete, because you can see all of these are the roofings. They've been removed. The building is still standing, but the parts have been completely destroyed. And earlier we had the charge the affairs of the Nigerian High Commission in Ghana, indicating that they would want the government of Ghana to rebuild this facility and also apprehend the persons behind this particular act. And we will bring you details of all of that shortly.
I know you are aggrieved. You don't like what has happened. But I want you to please keep your calm. Do you understand? There are negotiations going on between the Nigerian government and the Ghanaian government over this issue. And I believe it will be resolved properly. So please maintain your cool. Don't go into any form of violence. Everything will be brought under control and justice will be served.
Astariwa there, she is the acting Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana. So Fred Smith has joined me in studio right now, so we'll get you a bit more of the insight into the story. Fred, she at this point is telling the Nigerians who I believe have gathered there to remain calm. Why was that even necessary? Well, because a number of them, around 50 or more, had gathered at the facility, opposite the High Commission, demonstrating, and they were unhappy. A lot of the placards that I read indicated that their shops had been shut down by some persons in Ghana, and they mentioned Guta, they mentioned the police, and they are unhappy about it. This, they say, has happened since December. It's been about 8 months, they say, and they are not getting any response from them. They don't have any means of income, and so they're there, they are hungry and need their shops reopened. So they essentially went there with their own yes, problems. In fact, they were protesting about the demolition alongside this concern that they had, because they are home. They had nothing doing, and so they decided to join their concerns with this. We can hear some of them and what they say.
So
If you people are following the truth, we are Africans. And you close our shop for 8 months. 8 months. I have a children, I have family, and I have been suffering since that till today. And you are telling me you haven't able to carry the media. If you tell me you are a media man, say the truth. Let the whole country know that what your people are doing is not good. Guta hate us, and the government is pretending because of the election. It is not good. We are human beings. Okay? We are human beings. We are Africans. We are Nigerians. Even if you hate us, allow us to operate. You can't close our shop and telling us to keep quiet. And I know very well that all of you are going to edit it and use the one you like. Because most of you people are not in our favor. You are not telling the truth. Ghanaian citizens don't know. Ghanaian citizens don't know what we are passing through. Let the Ghanaian citizens know what we are passing through. It is not about us. Your people are manipulating. They are pretending. They are pretending. They are not saying the truth. We are suffering. Okay? You have locked my shop 8 good months. Put it live. I'm saying it. I can prove it. And let me tell you, all of us are selling wholesale. It is your people. It is your people. If you say we are selling retail, let the government investigate. It is your people that is causing all this problem. If you people want us to do something, even if we make a mistake, let the government correct us. You can't lock somebody's shop for 8 months and the person is not eating. And let me tell you something. Use the law and justify what you are saying. Is Guta a government official task force agency? No. Is a Guta an authority to implement the law? No. Let them use the right channel. Let them open our shop. If we will make a mistake, we will correct it. We are law abiding. I know that I'm not perfect. But the truth must be told. Okay? If you say we are one Africa, we are ECOWAS. Let's not focus about the ECOWAS issue. Think about human being. You will tell me that Black Lives Matters. When you have closed our shop for 8 good months, do you know how many Nigerians that have died because of this particular issue? Do you know how many people died? Do you know what we are passing through? And all of you media are here not publishing it and telling the world to know the truth. I know very well you are going to audit this. I can look at your faces tomorrow. But you know what? You can travel to Europe and demand that Europeans are doing you bad and the Chinese are doing bad. But you people are pretenders. You people are naturally pretenders.
So some infuriated Nigerians there, First Smith, they talk about, this gentleman who speaks is talking about the need for an investigation, that the government should investigate this. But yes, we know that has started from your assessment.
Yes, indeed. The acting Nigerian High Commissioner or Chargé d'Affaires actually raised concern. She had some demands. She wanted Ghana to, within the shortest possible time, rebuild the facility that has been demolished and also speed up investigation to apprehend those behind the destruction. But the Foreign Affairs Minister, Shelia Ayoko-Botre, was quick to respond that the demolition is not a government-sanctioned activity, and so government has no hand whatsoever in what happened on Friday night. And so government's role in this whole thing is to facilitate the investigation, to bring those involved to justice, such that there will be calm, so that if anybody, the persons, if they are found, will be made. If there's a need for reconstruction, bear in mind that there's dispute over the land. There's admission that there's dispute over the land, and so they will go through the legal processes and to find out who the land really belongs to, and then they will resolve who, they will decide who is going to rebuild this facility. At the moment, that's where we are with it, investigations, and during the visit, we also saw the IGP coming there, the National Security Minister also coming there, because tensions were high outside the facility.
All right. Well, Fred, thank you very much. And that's an investigation that has just begun. We're keeping our eyes on it, and we'll bring you more. We'll also be finding out what kind of conversation is going on about this in Nigeria. We'll be talking to Amarachi Ubani. He's a foreign affairs correspondent with our partners Channels Television in Nigeria. But we want to find out from you, what are your thoughts and your concerns? Send us a WhatsApp message. This message says, "Good afternoon, Gifty. We're from those behind the demolition. You say Ghana is becoming unbecoming in terms of lawlessness, and I think we have to be careful with situations upon situations in this country." I'll take a very quick break. When I return, we connect to Nigeria. We'll also bring you the fallout from the NPP's primaries, because the NDC just this afternoon has been holding a press conference. What are they saying? They're talking about COVID-19 protocols and the fact that they have been breached. We're also having this edition for you a look at how the reopening for final year students to go to school went. Do stay with us. Welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying with us. Let's get to Nigeria. I said that we will get there to find out what sort of talk is going on in Nigeria over this. How is the media there even reporting this? I have on Zoom Amarachi Ubani. She is foreign affairs correspondent for our partners, Channels TV. Amarachi, thank you so much for your patience. Do tell us, how is this story panning out in Nigeria?
Well, the media houses are focused on the basics. There is no speculation about this story. They're concentrating on the fact that a Nigerian building was demolished by someone, a businessman, purportedly in Ghana, claiming rights over the land. And the fact that, the Ghanaian government did nothing when the man attempted to bring down the fence, and then came in later in the middle of the night, and then, with his bulldozers and knocked down the building. And the fact that, the Nigerian High Commission had reached out to the Ghanaian government and there was no response from them for the period of time that the man pulled down the building as much as he could. So media houses are reporting the basics, but they're also looking at the reaction of the Nigerian government, which is important here. Many are calling for stricter measures against what has happened. We understand the Minister of Foreign Affairs has met with the Chargé d'Affaires of the Ghanaian High Commission in Nigeria, and looking for answers as to why this was even allowed to even happen in the first place. Just the basics going on in the media, and people fishing out for more stories, more in-depth analysis on what has happened and what the next actions should be concerning what has happened.
Regarding what the next action should be, you've indicated that there are talks for the Nigerian government to take stricter actions. Are there any? Do the people who make this argument provide any suggestions as to what the Nigerian government can do in terms of response to this development?
Most of the reactions are coming from fellow Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians, not analysts or people who are diplomats, people in that category. They're coming from people who are passionate about what has been going on in Ghana, people that are recalling other instances where, Ghanaians have mistreated Nigerians, and are calling up these instances and saying that this is too much, this is what has happened. We need to send a strong warning to Ghana and so on. No response yet, really, from the diplomatic community, but the Minister of Foreign Affairs seems to want to follow protocol on this. He's invited the Chargé d'Affaires. He has reached out to the Ghanaian government, says the Nigerian government is discussing with the Ghanaian government on how to go about this. We understand your government has also apologized to Nigeria and says it's investigating. So Nigerians are anxiously awaiting, the next steps that are going to be taken. And we hope to see action in the next few days, and we're hoping that the government really responds and that this doesn't even turn out to be a diplomatic row at the end. But the people are just shocked that, someone, an individual in Ghana, could single-handedly pull down a Nigerian building, a diplomatic building, on Nigerian ground, if you might say, because this is happening, within, the confines of the Nigerian government in Ghana. So it's just really surprising.
And when you talk about the fact that our foreign affairs minister, or the Ghanaian government, has apologized to Nigeria and said that this issue is being investigated, it's interesting you say, because that just happened today. I get the impression that a lot of people are following the development day by day, or if you like, minute by minute. What response has come on the back of this apology as well?
Well, the response to that, I think the Ghanaian government actually responded yesterday, because we did carry a story about the Ghanaian government responding to what had happened, saying that they would begin an investigation into the demolition. They wanted to find out what happened and everything. People really, really want to see more action, not just because the rumors, and I call them rumors because no one has confirmed them, the rumors going around here is that the individual did this without any opposition. So if the Ghanaian government is going to investigate, people want to know how. People want to know what will be done. What are the repercussions for doing this? What will be the punishments for doing this? Will the individual be found? Will he be brought to book? Will he answer for the consequences of this action?
Well, these are early days yet, I'll say. And the Ghanaian government, of course, tells us that they're investigating. Like you said, the response is what a lot of people are looking forward to. What will that response be as we move on? Ubani, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Amarachi Ubani is Foreign Affairs correspondent with our partners, Channels Television, with that update on the Nigeria-Ghana diplomatic, or what looks like a diplomatic war that's brewing. He says that Nigerians are insisting that their government takes a more stricter position on this. We'll keep our eyes on it and we'll bring you more of that.